welcome back to the channel and welcome back to A Winter's Tale. Now, arguably, debatably, make your own assumptions, £3 Grayling was the original goal of this vlog. We reckon we've done it. Couldn't confirm it, as we all know. I was seeing the hoopla that came with it. That was never £3, that was all day £3, oh, blah 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 blah. Who cares? It was a big Grayling. But I've got a wee personal goal to achieve this year, because I've never done it. It's one of two. The first one was a sea trout on the fly. I think it was my 8th blank in a row, and on the 9th attempt I finally got one. It didn't really capture my enthusiasm for fly fishing. Still enjoy all the various aspects of all the different types of fishing that we do. But recently I've took a wee shine to it again. A few sessions on Menteith on the fly. It's kind of reignited that desire, if you will, to try and get a Grayling on the fly rod, nymphing, bugging, Euro nymphing, Czech nymphing, Scottish nymphing, whatever the bloody style's called, right? To me, I will remain and I will call it fluff chalking. So the goal for me is to get a nice Grayling on the 4-weight, floating line, couple of nymphs, and see the first a-hole that shouts ban the bung. No entertaining it, alright? We're using the bung as an indicator down to the dropper and a heavier beaded nymph at the bottom. Don't ask me what they are. One's an orange one and one's got a silver hang on the end of it. Hopefully that'll do the trick. Now I believe we'll be fishing upstream, keeping tight to the line, and then inching our way upstream. What I'm used to is fishing the float, feeding the maggots, trotting through and working our way down. So kind of the opposite with this style of fishing. Don't ask me for any advice because I can't give you any. This is a whole new learning curve. One I'm looking forward to. We're in a kind of relatively familiar stretch of the river we're on. It's been kind to us in the past, so hopefully with the fly gear it's as equally as kind. So let's get in the water. Off 12. Spent more time at the side of the bank, retying my line, tying flies, tangles. But I've not had a radgie yet. Just trying to keep faith in the method and try and keep positive. We have had days here where you don't get nothing until the last run through, just as it gets dark. Could this be one of the days? If we're doing something wrong, if we're doing it all wrong. I love just getting some sort of indication. I've said it before with the barbel fishing, we don't do a lot of that. Fly fishing, don't do a lot of that. Lobbing bits of fluff about, don't do lots of that. So it's always good just to get, even if you lose it, or a couple of bites and just when you're getting nothing, you start questioning everything you're doing, everything you're using. Asking why you didn't bring a tub of maggots. Alex has had a couple of fish. They're too small. I was at the side of the bank, too far away. And they were tiny. They were Grayling. I think they were about that size. But I'm determined as ever to try and get one. Do I enjoy it? Do you know, I don't know. I genuinely don't know if I enjoy this or not. I just want to know that it works. I know that it works. I've seen people doing it and catching fish. But I don't know whether I need to pay for a guide or something, I don't know. But I think the next trip will be the old float rod and a tub of maggots. But we do keep here and there's loads of fish. Alex reckons it's salmon. I reckon a couple of them have been trout as well. But we're not here for salmon and trout. Where are they Grayling at?
I've been looking forward to this all year. Grayling fishing, that is. I was really looking forward to today until Gordon decided, fly fishing. Let's get one on the nymph, he says. Aye, right. To be honest though, I'm actually quite enjoying it, even though I've not caught any fish. It's all kind of starting to click, now the method. A wee bit more confident in what I'm doing now. Just kind of adapted it until I found a way that suits me. Not really into the tight line nymphing, the Euro nymphing style. I find that quite repetitive and quite boring. But this sort of upstream stuff, a little bit more enjoyable. However, it would be a hell of a lot more enjoyable if I caught a fish or two. Yeah, it's hard to keep the faith, hard to keep the confidence when there's no fish to be found, to be seen. The float rod will be coming next time. Can't believe I didn't bring it today. What was I thinking? Who'd have thought it? We're into one. I don't think it's very big, but I really don't care. It's not a wee fingerling anyway. He's tiny. Not quite what we're used to down here, but hey, it's on the fly. Yes, blanks off. Hey, I'm generally quite surprised that I got one of those today. We're used to catching £2 plus fish in here, so it's not anywhere near the stamp that we usually expect from this river. But there's a little grayling on the nymphs. Bars of soap, wiry bars of soap. Lovely little fish. About a pound and a bit. 3 o'clock, so we're into the last two and a half hours of daylight, and it's usually about now that we do start to pick up a few fish, so fingers crossed that's the first of a couple. Might only be wee. Quite happy with that one though, quite happy with that.
Well, 2024, I set myself some fly fishing goals to try and get in about the art of the old fluff chucking. Sea trout, tick. Rainbow trout, tick. Dry fly, rainbow trout, tick. Wild loch trout, tick. I fish for a bloody river. That's after the guys that do it and make it look easy, I'll tell you that. Took me a few hours to get into it, truth be told. Making a bit of an arse of it, to be honest. But this afternoon I feel as if I've fished quite well. A couple of close calls with a rock. I thought it was a fish. It did feel like it, felt like a bit of a tip, but hey. Just I tried and tried and tried. Nice to see Alex get one. I think he'd blank. Written where he's cooking the minute I picked him up. But he got about what? 4 wee fingerlings that they call them. And then one just went about the pound mark. So team effort and all that nonsense. job done, but I don't know. I don't know if I can keep driving down here and blanking. I just don't know if I'm doing something wrong or not picking the right flies for the right time of year or the right nymphs for the right time, conditions, clarity, river height, wind conditions. What way I got out of bed this morning, who knows. Maybe try this again, but I think the next one will be you laughing. With a tub of mixed maggots, with trusty float rod and trotting the float down here next time. So whenever next time is, we'll see you then. At least the barbell videos were alright.
That looks quite nice, doesn't it? What a morning. It's lovely. Nice and calm. A wee bit chilly, eventually. It's taking its time. We're talking, what are we in? Second week in November. And it's been mild. It's been in the mid-teens for weeks and weeks and weeks. But last night I think it went down about 5 degrees and it's starting to get that sort of proper autumn feel. But we're on the trout today. Rainbow trout. Gordon's here, so that obviously means one thing, that there might be some pike featuring in today as well. But mainly we're on the rainbows, and we're on the premier sort of trout fishery in Scotland, allegedly. The Lake of Menteith. And yeah, we're going to see how this goes. I'm feeling quite confident. The only thing that's maybe thrown me a little bit is it's an easterly wind today. It's not a huge easterly, maybe get up to about 7 or 8 miles an hour. But that can sometimes throw the fish off a wee touch, so we'll see how that goes. You see, I'm getting my excuses in early, as always. But yeah, rainbows on the fly. We'll talk through the sort of approach, and then probably in fact about half an hour's time I would imagine, Gordon will probably get the fly rods out for the pike fly rods out.
I'm starting on the pike.
He's starting on the pike, there we go, let's see. But aye, let's see how this goes. I'm looking forward to it. A couple of fish, bending the rod. Yeah, let's go.
Well, I know Alex slags me off, but you can't come here and not have a bash at the pike.
Scotland's premier trout fishery. Can he come here and not have a bash at the pike?
Damn tootin'. Aye, so my plan is a few hours on the pike in the morning and then a few hours on the pike as it starts to get dark, and then the trout in between. So fingers crossed. We'll see how we go. And fly fishing ain't my gig. Still very much a learning curve. So been here a couple of times with Ross and Daz. Done okay on the trout. A few small pike. But we'll move on for giving up.
as much as my fly casting's, it's not the worst, it's definitely not the best, but I'm always scared for some reason in a boat with someone to my right hand side. I think I cast quite laterally rather than straight over the top. So without a doubt, by the end of today, Gordon might have a couple of new piercings. But I think to prevent that, we'll do a wee sort of out the back door cast. Safer for all involved that way. I don't know, I just can't. I've always been a wee bit weird about it, wary about it.
No shit.
What do you mean by that?
I'm out in a boat with you, I shit myself. That's what's good about Big Ross, he's left-handed.
Ah, really? See, that'd be ideal. But nah, I don't mind the over the shoulder, out the back door cast. I don't know if Gordon's very keen on it, so
No.
I'll stay on this side of the boat in the drift and he'll stay on that side and I'll just cast like an absolute moron. Looks cool. Nah, it doesn't.
Well, I think this is our 4th spot. We've had the odd wee indication. Well, Alex had the odd wee indication, a wee tug. But I was watching the far bank on the last drift and there was a lot of thrashing about, like quite close to the bank in the shallower water. Whereas the fish we were seeing kind of further out in the slightly deeper water. Alex, was it nymphing? Like nymphs looked as if they were very delicately just turning on the surface. So we come in to the shallow. Tied up now. Come into the shallow, set and cast, bang, fish on, but I get off. I'm fishing a sinking tip with a big dirty pink lure on. And a kind of slow roly-poly retrieve. Had a couple of pulls, had a fish on, so hopefully the next one sticks. Nothing on the pike rod. Lobbed that about for about an hour and a half. I think we'll get one in here, I'm pretty confident. I'll show you this fly.
Can't even call that a fly.
Purists turn away now. I'll stick that in my Christmas tree next month.
Bloody hell.
But hey, it works. I'll throw some pictures up with the fish we've had in the last couple of sessions here. With Ross and Daz. Some lovely fish. Right, let's see if we can get one whilst the camera's rolling. No. Right, Alice, you can get back your fishing. There we go. Been getting nips every cast there for about 4 or 5 casts. I just sped up as it got towards the boat and it nailed it. It's not a big rainbow. But it is the first fish. Oh. I do myself a mischief in it. Whoa! Well, it's woke up now. This is brilliant, man. You can see why folk like the old fluff chopping. Jesus, Johnny. Bending the rod. Oh. Excuse me. What? He's not the worst. I'll let him go outside there. There he goes. Told you, Alex. Right. Let's get another. Right, you're putting on, Alex.
Nothing. Well, you can't beat them. Join them. That is ridiculous. Look at the size of that.
Only greeting with a big trout off the end of it.
It's like casting a squirrel. A punk squirrel. Conditions are probably the worst you could really have for fly fishing. Barely a breath of wind. Not helping much if you're hiding behind these trees, but it seems to be where the fish are. They're fish with an adventurous appetite, so we'll stick with it. Hopefully that breeze will pick up later on. I'll be able to get the nymphs out and start seeing a few more fish on the surface. A wee bit of a ripple. And get the buzzers on, get the nymphs on, get the lighter rod out. But in the meantime, I'm going to keep chucking this thing. Look at that in the water. That's nuts. Hey, if it works. I'm not even telling you what I've got this on. I'm embarrassed. Hey, it's proven to be quite difficult this morning, so I'll happily take them anyway. And if that means putting on a horrendous looking fly.
Well, stop trying to kid on, you're a purist.
I'm not.
You're fooling nobody.
I'm definitely not a purist, but there are lines. And I've crossed it. But now Gordon seemed to be getting a few follows, a few plucks on a really slow retrieve. Fairly deep. He's using a sink tip, I'm using a kind of a quick intermediate. And we're only in about 9 feet of water, so the fish are sitting deeper than we expected. But yeah, I'll take them anyway at the minute. It's ill prepared as ever. Bear with me a second.
We'll see it's alright, yeah.
Copy there. Thank you. He's nailed it. Nice one. One each. I think we found the method. We found some fish, so fingers crossed we might get a few in here. Might even get one off the table.
I thought, give the pike rod a go. And I'm not joking, a pike come up, had a go at the fly just as I was lifting it out. And I was laughing, and as it sat back in the water, a trout's come up and nailed it. That was nuts. A nice trout.
It's a better looking trout, aye.
Oh, that was absolutely nuts. A better one, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Whoa, give me a view, give me a... I'm done yet. Well, there we go. A Menteith bow. Decided to keep this one. That'll be mine and Kobe's dinner tonight. My boy likes a sea trout, but this is the next best thing. This time of year, so you can like it or lump it. Ah, that was good fun, that. That was brilliant. What a fish. Menteith Rainbow. Well, I'm no one for keeping scores, Alex, but I think that's 3-1 in here. You like to keep a score? I'm just saying. Right, I'm going to continue and try for a pike. I've got my rainbow fix. That was good.
Seem to be struggling a wee bit here. The big pink things are working to an extent. I'm determined to get one on. Something a wee bit more traditional. So I've switched. I did give the buzzers a go. I've switched. Still fishing a buzzer on the point. Get a little... No idea what kind of buzzer it is. It looks like it's seen better days, mind you. And then just fishing 2 droppers above it. And yeah, went pretty traditional on this one. Little black pennel and bottom dropper, and if I can reach it. A Cape McLaren on the top dropper. So a team of 3, traditional sort of lock style, isn't it? At least I think it is anyway. I give myself 5 minutes with this and I'll be back on the pink stuff, but you never know. I'm not a massive believer in you need to catch fish a certain way. I think it does, catching the fish is the most important bit. But there is something nice on the odd occasion of doing something properly. Don't get used to it though. Big pink thing's went back on. First cast. Sometimes you just need to accept it, don't you? Slow retrieve again, really slow. That figure of 8 on an intermediate line, so yeah, quite near the bottom. That was some take, that was. Absolutely nailed it. You can talk about being purist and using the right flies and all that nonsense. But when a fish hits a lure, man.
Excuse me.
Forceps. Ah, needed that. Starting to lose faith. I'm just keeping that on from now on. I'm not changing that at all. It's staying on.
I think he might be right. This easterly wind, certainly in comparison to the last 2 sessions I've had on here, it's not been anywhere near as productive. The wind from the east, the fish bite, at least as they say. These are a couple of fish. I've had a couple of fish. Tried the old pike lures as well. All my fish have came on that, and one took the pike fly as well. Absolutely no sign of any pike. So we're kind of cut lures to go. We've only really had the majority of the fish in one spot, which was just behind Alex there, and one up there. I don't know whether we just keep moving and do wee half-hour spells, hopefully stumble across some more fish. But aye, all the energy's needed. Hard work the old fluff chuck, isn't it? This fish jumping out of there. Maybe it's worth going over there. Yank. He's gave up. He's lobbed everything he's got in his box. He's even got the bung and some big bit of candy looking thing there. Oh dear. Aye. Hopefully the last couple of hours comes good. We'll see.
Well, we've moved right up to the top end of the loch. Sort of sheltered area. I've had a couple of casts here, both of us a couple of casts. I've got that big bloody pink thing on. I was just about thinking of changing it. And this guy is at the side of the boat. And get this to the boat, that'll narrow the gap to 1. Not counting. Always counting.
I couldn't give a monkeys, I've got my dinner.
Them get under that boat. It's 7 in total. And tough going. Just before that last fish, I thought, well, change of fly. Decided against it because it produced the fish. And it's been quiet since. A wee change again. The good old faithful yellow dancer. And this one had 4 goes at it before it actually.
I just stood in the boat.
Yep. Before it actually hooked it. It's a better fish. I think I'm going to have him, I think. I've paid for 1 fish, so. It'll be dinner, I think. Into that boat. believe that's us level. 4 each.
I think I'm only 3.
I think you've only got 3 as well.
That's a clunker.
It flies in the net. There we go, my best of the day. Similar to Gordon's.
I think that's bigger.
It's a wee bit bigger. Chunky fish. There was a couple of dinners.
I literally just said to Alex there, I've not had a bump all afternoon. See a fish rise, cast right through it. I hooked it. Only a tiddler, that's a bloody lively one. And with Alex getting them fish and a few hits on night, Jesus, man. Yellow dancer, I naturally changed to that same fly as well. 2 minutes on this. Oh, there they go. Can't see my line. Oh. Easy, tiger. That's probably the nicest fish of the day. Happy with that. Yellow dancer. That's 3 hits and 3 casts. Setting fish hooked up. Literally into the last half hour and my luck's took a wee turn for the better.
Was that a better fish?
Hopefully. Can't have you catching the most and having the biggest.
This looks a better one. Is it just...
Nah, it's just a lively character. Jesus. That's brilliant, man. Oh, that's not that bad. Ending on a high. No landed it yet, but
oh, that is nice.
oh, there it goes again. You see the hook? Is it totally... Let me bring this in her.
If we're going to net it.
Can't see the hook at all. I'll give it some, didn't I? Oh, you little shit. Hey, yes, I'm tired now. Come on. I spoke too soon. Oh, come here. Right, he's hooked just in the bottom lip. Well, another day on Menteith comes to an end. I think 9 fish all in we got. A couple of nice fish here for the table. See what Kobe can come up with. I'll let him cook these ones, or this one. But 9 fish, I think all on lures, one on a pike lure, pike fly. But I think I said this last year, it was a game of 2 horse. I had a no bad morning. Alex had a decent afternoon. It was nice just to kind of finish there on a fish. Always like to finish on a fish. So, I don't know what our next plans are. Maybe some dead baiting for pike or something. So whatever that is, we'll maybe see you next time. Thanks for watching. I got a chance to get my fishing gear on. We're into a fish forever, but it dropped it. Dropped it. Promising start.
So there's a big weird orange thing in the sky. Not quite worked out what it is yet. But welcome back to Angling 360. And welcome back to an area that we absolutely love, but we were talking about it on the way down this morning. We've not fished here in about, 18 months? But it can be really good, it can be really productive. The only issue we've got is last night we couldn't really decide what we fancied going for. So we've come out with the intention of trying to catch as many things as possible. I think I might have a fish on here, bear with me a second. We've got the pike rods out. I think that's maybe the sort of main focus on today's. We've got 2 rods out each, fishing dead baits. Gordon's decided he's after a perch. Some nice perch round about here. It's maybe a wee bit late in the year, but it has been mild. So there's a good chance of a couple of perch. And I've got some stinking old rancid maggots that I've had in the fridge for about 4 or 5 weeks now, and they're still reasonable. And they seem to be doing the job. Yeah, that is the fish number 3 for me on the feeder at distance. A couple of roach. So yeah, pike, perch, roach. If we can get 1 each of those, well, we've got a couple of roach already. If we can get a couple of perch, a couple of pike, then it's probably classed as a success. It's a bit of a chilled out session. None of us are feeling the greatest today. There's a bit of a lurgy going about. So it's a nice easy session on a nice stable platform with hopefully a couple of fish. Gordon's already had a run. He had a run before he'd even got his kit on, to be fair. He hooked it, but he lost it. It looked a decent fish, to be fair. So it's looking promising, and it's nice. It's mild, it's sunny. The scenery's phenomenal, as it always is down here. Aye, let's see how this goes. I was a wee bit apprehensive when we first turned up today. I'm still fairly confident on the pike front. I think the conditions today, apart from the bright sun, suit the pike a little bit better. It's low. It's the lowest we've seen it at this time of year. And it's really clear. It's not rained in weeks.
It's going to rain now, innit? But
Apparently I've heard there's a bit of a storm coming. So the water is crystal clear, which favours pike fishing. Not so much the roach. But it took about 20 minutes to get them going, but I'm pretty much hitting fish every chuck now. So I've got plenty ground bait going on in there. There's about 2 pints of dead maggots. So we've got plenty to chuck at them. I just hope we can keep them going and maybe build a little bit of a bag. So Gordon's pointing that camera at the rod tip, so we all know exactly what's going to happen there. Absolutely nothing. Oh, there we go. Spoke too soon. However, Gordon was smack bang in my strike zone, so I think I missed it and I'm blaming him. He's getting the blame for that one. But as I've said numerous times before, I love this style of fishing. It's active, so it keeps you entertained while the pike rods are doing their thing. And there's also the chance of some nice fish. You know? We've had fish here to well over a pound. The odd bream, the odd skimmer, the odd hybrid, pound. Loads of stuff, so yeah. I'm looking forward to just chilling out. I'm not getting out of this seat. I'm going to try to stay here as long as possible and only get up for a big fish. That's my plan anyway. The bites have thinned out a wee touch, but that one felt a wee bit better when I hit it there, but I don't think it's that big. It might be a net job though, which might be easier said than done. That's a nice looking fish. I struggle to get this in the net though, it's pretty low down. Come on. Yeah, it's not as big as I thought it was. Here's the best one of the day. Not the best conditions, a wee bit skinny, but lovely fish all the same. Just love catching these. That's a few now.
Just see this now, right? He's got the only roach rod out, so if it goes, I'm on it. Imagine if it was a 2-pounder. Now, I mentioned that simply because the location we're at just now is where the... I'll need to try and remember it now because I've not consulted Alex in the name of that vlog that we started. One of the very first vlogs we did. Perpetual pursuit for a big roach. So the 2-pound roach was the goal of that vlog, and it still has yet to be caught. Now he thinks I'm going to rabbit on about the big roach that I caught, and because I've still caught the biggest one, and it's £1.12. Throw a picture up. But I didn't come here with any specific, as Alex said earlier on, we've got 4 pike rods out, we've got the perch rod out with a lobworm, and Alex has been, I would say, pretty much fish a chuck nearly, huh?
A bite of chuck.
Bite a chuck anyway on the roach. So that's been, but interestingly enough, it's normally the morning or the kind of early evening or late afternoon now being winter. The pike tend to nail a roach or two on the way in, which can be fun. Sorry to all the roach anglers out there, but it's brilliant when it happens. So I did have a couple of roach dead baits, as well as the sardines, mackerel and stuff like that, so I'm fishing my roach dead bait literally right next to where Alex is fishing. I think that might have been a wee...
Can't catch you doing fish.
I'm not fishing for the roach, but I'm praying for a big pike to come up in here. At least it's not a 2-pounder, because you'd have been spewing right now.
Right on the net.
Aye, go in there, because it's a bit low down. Oh. Trying to get that feeder in there. Believe it or not, this is actually my first fish of the day. keep my net over it because they have been a bit lively. A lovely roach. Get the red eye on it. They are pretty fish, but no my cup of tea, but I don't mind fishing for them the odd time. But I'm going to need to get Alex to put the camera down and get a disgorger and get this fish back.
As Gordon said, it's been a bite of chuck, not quite a fish of chucks. I'm missing a lot, but a bite of chuck. There's plenty of fish out there and they're happy to feed. Nothing huge, they're all relatively small, 6 ounces thereabouts. This one, however, did feel a little bit better than initially. It is a better fish, it is a slightly better fish. Biggest of the day, I'd say. Oh aye, that's about twice the size of anything else we've had today, so yeah. Getting better. Let's have a look at this one. Still not huge, but he's definitely the best of today. And when they get to that size, they're just an absolute joy to catch. I love them. As wild as they come. Hey, went quiet there for a while. Spent a wee bit of time sort of sorting my rig out, and the fish have kind of moved off. But there we go. That's the first one in a wee while. A little gate crasher. That ain't no roach. A little dace. Usually pick the odd one of them up down here. Always nice to see. Pick up chub as well sometimes.
I was going to just about to ask you that. Can you rhyme off all the species we've had through here?
From this mark?
From this mark.
From this mark, we've had roach, bream, hybrids, dace, chub, perch, pike, eels, rough, powan, ferox trout, sea trout. I think that's it. Plenty of species. You just never know what you're going to get sometimes.
What's your rig then? How did you sort it?
The rig, right, fairly straightforward, as simple it is as it comes, really.
Aye. That's headache rig.
No, honestly, it's so simple. It's so simple. It's a fish in a short shock leader, little feeder on a snap link. Just fishing a sort of cage feeder. And the feeder's running on a loop parallel to the main line, down onto just a slightly offset twizzled boom, and then a 50cm hook link, size 16 hook. There's no components on it. Basically you've got a hook, a snap swivel and a feeder. It is pretty simple. I like it. Good presentation, casts well. Right, hopefully that's a few more fish turned up, so we get a few more. So yeah, dead maggots, not intentionally, it's just that they were kicking about the fridge. I'm surprised they're still, they're freshly dead, if you want to say that. But they're doing the trick. It just shows, you know, you don't necessarily need fresh maggots every time. I'm going for 3 on the hook. Semi-dead. There's a couple of half alive ones in there, and it's just a small 40 gram exchange feeder I'm using. I'm only putting a small amount of bait in each time, and it seems to be keeping them interested. I was expecting it to be quite difficult today, with it being quite bright and quite clear, but it's proved to be pretty fruitful. Small amount every chuck, little and often, keeps them interested. and hopefully get a few more. We've finally managed to draw some fish back in. I keep falling into the same trap though. Every time I lift into one of these, gives a couple of big head shakes. I'm thinking it might be a better fish, but nah, just about the same. It's about average sized. We got them back though, it's the main thing.
Well, that bobbin's moved once all a day, so I think I'm going to do a wee change to what I've got set up. But this is the height of laziness, right? This is literally, and I'm not joking when I say this, the same clip from the last session on the River Trent. Only difference being is it's not a 5 ounce lead, it's a 1 ounce lead. I think that might even be 1.5 ounce. And my hook length, a size 10 hook, same as a barbel, but a lobworm chopped in two. And all day, it's now kind of 1:15 and I've had one run, if you will. So I've decided, Alex agrees, that I'm going to get rid of this. .1 ounce it is for one of these. Now that's a large 40 gram window feeder, for those that don't know. Now the reason I'm using this, so how easy that was on. What? Couple of settings and we're good to go again. And the reason I'm using that is for a couple of reasons. It casts like an absolute bullet, and Alex thinks I might benefit from getting a wee bit further. So who am I to argue? Freshen up my lobworms. Same barbel hook, not the same hook but the same size 10. The only reason why this is because I left my maggot hooks and my worm hooks in my Grayling box. No far off the same hook length as well. I don't know if that's needing to be shortened or lengthened, but we'll give it a go with the window feeder. It's just so that I'm putting a wee bit of bait around the bit of my worms. I think with the window feeder it's more when you bring it back in, it deposits the ground bait. Maybe the odd wee bit will come out on landing and stuff like that, but I'm not wanting a big plume of ground bait like Alex is trying to create to draw all the roach in. My thinking and my daft head is that my roach deadbait I've got just on the outskirts of what I see as a big shoal of fish attacking his feeder and the feed that he's been building up. And when all the fish are focused on the ball of bait, attacking it, competing, my thinking is that a perch or a pike will be getting drawn into that, sitting round down on the outskirts, just maybe waiting to pick one off, and hopefully it'll maybe see my dead bait and grab that. But one thing I will say, 99% of the time we fish here, and as Alex says at the beginning, we haven't fished here for a while, probably nearly 2 years, which is hard to believe. 2:30, there or thereabouts, give or take a few minutes. We always seem to get a pike. So fingers crossed. But I'm going to go and find a lobworm and we'll get this back out. As I said earlier, I'm not wanting to create a big plume. I want that to kind of stay in there as it travels through the water column. Now I'm going to try something new here. I'm going to try and bring up the Navionics map as I'm doing this to show the depth. I think it's around about 20 odd feet once you get past a certain distance. So the maggots are obviously dead and they're not going to wriggle that free. Nice and tight and compact. Oh, there Alex's jumper. Caught in Alex's zip now. This is all gone peaked down. There we go. No doubt the line will be wrapped around the tip. I'm just going to ping this as far as I dare. I could probably get that a bit further, but you're always fearing of the worm flying off, aren't you? Feeder hits the water and then 5 minutes later you see another splash. That's your worm. Just tighten that up. Back on the bobbin. I'll let him off. No way to be doing everybody's nutting. Said it before. Nothing worse than somebody playing with their alarm all day long. The one thing I'm always getting into trouble off Alex about is with perch fishing with bait on the bobbin. Always have a nice long drop. Perch don't like resistance. So once you've got that set up, alarm goes back on. There we go. That's a damn sight better than somebody going all day long. Let's see if that makes a difference.
Well, I did say to Gordon earlier on today that the feeder might be the better approach for his target species. Alright, it might not be a specimen size perch,
At least they're there.
but it's more perch than he's got. Oh well, that just shows how much we know about fishing. I was certain that we were going to get a couple of pike. Clear water, low, still quite mild. And I thought that the roach was going to be pretty challenging. Flipped it around. Plenty of roach steady, all day. Kind of slowing down a little bit now, the bites are becoming a wee bit harder to hit. They're still there, but yeah, just a wee bit tougher to hit the bites. 2:30, usually our guaranteed run time. That was like nothing. The only run we've had on the pike rods is the one that Gordon had first thing this morning. So I didn't quite go the way that we thought it would, but I've had a decent day. I'm quite happy with my results. Nothing big, they're all about that size, most of the roach. A couple of better ones, but fairly steady, and it's been pretty tough conditions, so aye, happy with that. We've still got a couple of hours to go, I think. Well, hour and a half maybe until it's dark. So last knocking's always a good time to have a bait in the water, so there is still time. I think Gordon's quite confident in a run. That might be a run. Surely not.
Nope.
No, false alarm.
Dropped it. Dropped it. I'm not moving it, but
There you go, there's another species. Ain't big, but another species, and it's one that we don't really get many of here. We get them in the rivers, but not so much. In fact, you know what? I'm having a look at that, and I'm thinking, that is a little freak. Look at that fish, alright? Body shape like a chub. Silver like a roach. An eye like a roach. Quite a wide mouth like a chub. Not quite a convex fin, but quite flat. That, to me, I don't know if you guys agree, is a choach. I thought it was a chub. I thought it was a chub initially, but it's definitely got a lot of roach in it. Look at that anal fin. Look at the dorsal fin. The dorsal fin's got chub all over it. Those black sort of edges, and then the black edges to the tail as well. So that's a choach, a roach chub hybrid. Really common in the rivers like the Ribble and whatnot. But that's a couple we've had from here. You've had one as well, Gordon, haven't you?
you had one on the other side
aye.
of the water.
So yeah, unusual one that.
That was a nice one.
Aye. I'm sure I had one on. I think that's about 3 or 4.
I'm sure mine was the biggest ever, wasn't it?
Ah, of course it was. But aye, it's nice to see. It's an unusual wee fish. But yeah, a choach, roach, chub, or a chub, roach hybrid. This one did feel a little bit better on the way in. Still, definitely no monster. He's a little roach. Quality stamp of roach. Those red eyes are amazing, aren't they? Little speckles in the gill plate. Lovely.
No caught. So wanted you to miss that. You're not going to believe this. But that bobbin and that alarm finally went.
I think you missed it though.
I think I've missed it though. I couldn't get out my seat. It's just not meant to be today. Genuinely not caught a fish. Fluffed my lines at a pike and it looks like I've fluffed my only the second Do you think the first one was a bite? I think I crossed my line.
Don't know. I thought you crossed your line.
I didn't think I did, but let's just say that I did. That's the first indication enough. I couldn't get my sheeting time. I bought a new chair and it's a wee bit deeper at the arse than my old one that I broke it. To be fair, I broke it about 2 years ago. Finally got a new one, but aye.
Oh, no, still there.
Is it?
Still there.
Yeah, I should just go for it.
Just go for it.
Go for it, right.
I know what this is. I bet it's a rough. I bet it's the tiniest rough inhaled your worm.
It's a big ass worm. It's something. That is, it's a rough.
100%. Or the tiniest little perch. Oh, it's perch.
Well, I didn't say how big, did I? That, my friends, is a perch.
Mission accomplished.
Job done.
Let's get a photo of this one. Fish of the day.
Get him back. Cheers, wee guy. Away. I came for a perch. A perch is what I caught.
So like I said, the bites are getting tougher and tougher to hit. Still getting bites regularly, but they're not quite hanging themselves like they did earlier in the day. You get a slight bump on the rod tip and that's it, you've missed it, you've missed your chance. Typical roach fishing, so frustrating.
How did you know that?
There we go, we got them. I was a wee bit more progressive than they've been for the last half hour. I love it. I just love it. It's just so active. The fish aren't big, but it doesn't matter. It's just that process of just building a bag fish by fish. And then there is just the odd slim chance of a big fish. It's not happened yet, but that's how not to net a fish. Been netting every one because a couple that I tried to swing in earlier on fell off. So I'm not taking any chances. So there we go. Every little ounce helps in the net. Right, kind of running out of time a wee bit. We're running out of daylight, so let's have a look at what I've managed to accumulate. I don't think it's going to be a huge net of fish.
Feel free to say I've.
Because
I've not contributed one fish.
Nah, it's all. Gordon's just a wee chilled out day today, but hey. Aye, I'll be happy if I've got about 8 pounds or so, but yeah, I'm not.
going to say 10.
I'm going to go 10, double figures, I'm not sure. But aye, let's get the net in. Quick way, have a wee look, see what we've got, and get them back.
Maybe 5.
More than that, it's heavy.
Is it?
Yeah. Right, I might need a little bit of help here. Let me see. Right, let's have a look. It's actually quite a decent bag, I think. Oh, jeez. £14. £14 a roach on a tough day, on a day that I expected to be tough with the bright conditions. That's how we look at them and quickly get them back. Now that is a quality bag of Lomond roach. Look at those.
Would you be wanting a 40?
Yeah, I think so. I think I've done quite well there. I'm over the moon with that, absolutely over the moon.
Yeah, well done.
That's a cracking wee bag for... I've done it myself as well. Right,
I'll give you that one.
let's get them back. Nice one.
Daft Pike.
Well, still going, still at it, still getting bites, still getting fish. I think that might have taken my total to £15. I'm still counting. But I've thoroughly enjoyed today. I just love the style, I love the method, I just love this area. And the weather's been fantastic. I thought it was going to be horrendous for fishing, but it's been lovely. Middle of November and I was sitting around in a t-shirt. A short sleeve t-shirt in the middle of November. Madness. I turned up this morning, lovely sunrise, fish topping everywhere. So it was looking good from the off. There's a peregrine falcon, been kicking about all day. Probably got a sort of home up in the cliffs on the Inchkyloch there. And he's been swooping around chasing the pigeons, harassing the pigeons. So that was pretty cool to see. And it's not even been that busy. You know, one of the main issues coming down here is it's usually absolutely heaving with tourists. There have been a few, but not too many. It's been great. And I even think, although he didn't really catch much, I think Gordon actually enjoyed himself as well. Just chill out, bit of sunshine, bit of fresh air. But I think we're just about coming to the end of this session. I enjoyed it. Hope you guys did as well. And we'll see you wherever we are next. See you then. Welcome back to Angling 360. We're back on the Roach. Back on the Roach on a very busy venue. There's people walking by, there's dogs walking by, there's boats and canoes and God knows what else. Ducks, swans. So this might be a wee bit challenging. But I think the biggest challenge lies in the fact that we've never fished here before. We've heard a lot about it, done a little bit of research into it, but never actually fished it. In fact, I think I fished it once when I was like 15 and I didn't do very well. But aye, Roach on the feeder only starts one place, and that's with the ground bait mix. We're sticking with our sort of favoured go-to approach. 50% brown crumb, 25% Silver X, and probably 25% frenzied hemp as well. We've had a chat to a local guy that fishes the match angler, and he's given us a few tips, so we're going to start quite close in. Feed small amounts, little and often, see how it develops, and then if need be, we can sort of push out a little bit further, but fishing roughly 30 yards to start with. Gordon's on press with his new feeder setup. We'll see if it helps him stay awake, that would be ideal. But yeah, the plan, build a bag of fish, build a bag of roach with hopefully the chance of something a wee bit bigger. We're still after that 2-pounder. We've kind of come to the conclusion that it's not going to happen on Lomond. Still might. So it's maybe time to start thinking about other places in here. That's why we're here. Yeah, let's get this bait mixed up and we'll see how this goes. So as always, mix it up dry. I'm not going to put too much in. We could always make up a bit more later on if need be. And normally we would add our maggots and our casters to the ground bait, but we're going to be a little bit more professional in our approach, and we're going to keep all the baits separate and just add it to the feeder as and when we think it's required. Not that we'll know when that is, but you never know. Gives us a sort of more variable option. So that's the mix. A bit of water. We'll keep it quite dry and quite fluffy. A lot at a time. I've said this before, but there are fancy sort of drill attachments and food processors and whatnot that you can mix your bait with. There's nothing wrong with just getting your hands in. Well, it's a bit messy, but I don't mind that. Getting there. Plug the ground bait with that, a couple of particles in between them, sandwiched in between it, and just feed little and often, little and often, little and often. Right, let's see. It's always a concern when you come to a place like this. It's a public park, it's a country park, and there's just so many people. We're used to fishing big empty lochs. So this is a wee bit different, but Gordon was saying earlier on, all these boats go up and down and they're not going to cause a problem. I'm hoping that the fish are used to that. I'm sure they are here. It's a renowned venue, it's a renowned match venue, and it does produce big bags of fish, so surely we can pick something up. We've mentioned before when we've done any sort of feeder sessions that we really could be a wee bit more efficient in the way that we fish. We're no match anglers, definitely not. Pleasure anglers all the way through. at a push specimen hunter, but definitely not match anglers. So we've tried to be, we're never going to have a platform and feeder trays and 5 rods and poles and whips. It's not us, we're just not going to do it. But having something a wee bit more controlled, like a setup a little bit more controlled, is definitely on my to-do list. So I've tried. It's not the greatest, but I've kind of got my bait down to my right hand side. I'm on a very low chair. I've got my rod tip close to the water. It's a bit of a shambles, but the idea is there. The problem is we only have one landing net. Ideally I'd like a landing net right here. So it's going to be a case of up and down if we do catch any decent sized fish. So aye, we need a landing net each next time, I think. Landing net each, keep net each, we'll have it just set round about us. And at least that way we might look like we know what we're doing.
While he's there kidding on, he's being a match angler. I think I actually quite looked the part. I actually forgot I had this set up. Bought it after mate a couple of years ago with the feeder fishing in mind, and I used it a couple of times when I was river fishing for the dace and the perch. But it's quite handy because you've got everything you want: cakes, juice, your bait, such have you. Extendable rod rest arm thing, you can go up and down and things happen. You can actually attach a keep net to this. But aye, I'm not a competition angler, match angler, I'm not into all that. I just enjoy my fishing. Don't like storing it, you know. With that said, I fished here, same as Alex. I think Alex said it when he was mixing the ground out. I literally fished here when I was 11-year-old. My uncle Tommy brought me down pike fishing. And if my memory serves me right, I'm sure I was using bacon. It's bait. I think my uncle Tommy just wanted to keep my auntie Anne happy. We'd take them out for a few years with my hair so he could get a pass out to the pub later on. And that's inevitably where they always ended up at 12 o'clock. So Uncle Tom, if you're up there looking down on us, send us some work dinner. But aye, they'll feeder fishing. I struggle with it at times. Yeah, I don't know if I've mentioned in the past, but Alex is looking for that £2 roach, and it's one of the species that I've got the bigger one, £12, or a picture up. So I know he's dying to get a £13. Can't he see he's getting this £2? I just don't know what it is. It's just, I think it's one of the ones that will just forever elude us, but you never know. We've got to be seem to be trying, haven't we? And we're no ones for shying away from a challenge. So we'll keep trying and we'll see what this new venue, relatively new venue brings. But it's like sitting in City Hall Street. If Alex pans you in the now, look. I think we've got the dog walking society, the jogging club, the running club, stretching club, the yoga club. Don't know what kind of clubs we've got everyone. And their own club. They've got a few speedboats, paragliders will turn up. But we better get fishing and less talking.
Well, we're about 2 hours in. I've been feeding quite regularly. I think Gordon's nodded off a couple of times, but I have seen him cast on the odd occasion. But not a single touch. Not even an indication. Started off fishing about 25 yards. I've now pushed out to 50 yards. I'm just going to keep kind of mixing up, changing it a little bit. Maybe come back into that 25 yard mark. And just see if I can find a fish. My hopes have went from a nice bag to just a fish. There's a couple of guys fishing just along from us, literally just along from us. They look rather serious, but it doesn't look like they've caught anything either. But I think this one's going to be a tricky one. I'm just hoping it's not the start of a sort of run of bad luck that came, well, for me anyway, last winter. Last winter was horrendous. In all fairness, this year has not been great. We've had a few nice fish, but they've been few and far between. Our last session was pretty diabolical. So much so that I don't even think we filmed much. I made some friends. I met a nice herd of cows. That was the highlight of my day. We're up on one of the big locks up in Argyll, fishing for pike. I had six runs, which is pretty good going for me. Missed every one of them. I think I hooked one. I got one of that size. But that was pretty poor. Struggling a little bit to find my mojo. I was hoping this was going to help, but it's not looking that way at the minute. I'm just going to stick with it, be methodical, and hopefully they turn up. That's the thing with feeder fishing, for roach in particular. It can be dead for hours, and then all of a sudden, boom, they're on your bait. I'm not holding out too much hope.
Would you take a £20 bag or one £2 roach?
One £2 roach, hands down.
So one fish could change a day?
One fish could change the day. And we've heard that swan is going to get away. Yeah. Swans are causing absolute carnage today. One fish could change the day. And we've heard that there have been big fish caught here before, but rumours and all that. It's only taken 5 hours. Missed 2 bites in that 5 hours. I was determined to get at least one fish from this bloody place. And if it doesn't fall off, I should be able just to swing this little guy in. In fact, it's kind of burying his head a wee bit there. He's going in the net just in case. blank is off. Well, the last 5 hours was worth it. Look at him. Lovely little fish actually, chunky wee fish. And you know what? He's going in there. Because I'm planning on getting a few more. Don't think there was much need for this today. That is the lot. I've had enough. I'm going home. Might see you next time.